Let's move on to another type of multiplication. What if you are asked to multiply two mixed numbers? What should we do? Are we gonna multiply 2 times 3 and then multiply the half and the fifth the same way we did previously, or we have to follow another method? Well, the method I just mentioned, multiplying 2 times 3 and then multiply the fraction separately, is not the right method. We have to change every mixed number to an improper fraction first, and then follow the steps that we have been following for multiplying the fraction. So 2½ is a mixed number. The improper form for that mixed number is 5/2. And how did I get 5/2? 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5, and keep the denominator the same. If you're not sure how to change a mixed number to an improper fraction, go back to webinar number 1 in this series, and we did go through lots of practice about that. Times, this is another mixed number. We cannot keep it as is. We have to change it to an improper fraction. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16 on the top, and keep the denominator the same, 5. Now, this looks like the same problems that we have been dealing with in the first section of the webinar. So I'm going to look for eliminating factors. I see a 5 and a 5 right away. Divide over 5 and divide over 5 equals to, rewrite the problem, 1/2 times 16/1. What else? I have 16 and 2. So 2 is a common factor. Eliminate that and rewrite the problem. 1/1 times 8/1. Now, nothing common between these four numbers, then multiply across. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is a 1. 8/1 is a whole number 8, and this is your product. Any question about the first question A on the screen? Okay, let's do the same thing with B. The only difference in B is that we have a mixed number and a fraction. So we are not going to change both. We're only going to change the mixed number to an improper fraction, and the second one will just stay as is. And then we're going to do the cancellation method and then multiply across when done with canceling out all the common factors. So 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 will give you a 5/3 times 6/12 is already in fraction form. So we're going to do the elimination or the cancellation. I see 6 and 12. I am able to divide over 6 and divide over 6. Rewrite the problem, 5/3 times 1/2. Do I have anything else to eliminate? 5 and 3, nothing common. 5 and 2, nothing. 1 and 3, nothing common. 1 and 2, nothing. I am ready to go ahead and multiply across. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 2 is 6. This is a proper fraction, nothing common, so this is our answer, 5/6. Question number C on the screen that you see, 7/10 times 1 and 8/10. Again, we have a fraction and a mixed number, so we're going to rewrite the problem as 7/10 times, change the mixed number to an improper fraction. 1 times 10 is 10 plus 8 will give you 18 on the top, and 10 will stay on the denominator. Now be careful. Some students would eliminate 10 and 10. Because when you see a 10 and a 10 on both fractions, you get excited. You say, oh, 10 and 10, just eliminate them. Remember, we have to eliminate the common factors between two numbers. One has to be on the top and the other one has to be on the bottom. The two 10s here are both on the bottom. We cannot go ahead and cancel out the 10s. So let's look at the numbers on the top and the bottom. We have 18 and 10. I can divide over 2. Both are even numbers, so 2 must be a common factor. So rewrite the problem. 7/10 equals to 18 divided by 2 is a 9, and 10 divided by 2 is a 5. Do I have anything else to eliminate? 7 and 10, nothing common. 7 and 5, no. 9 and 10, nothing. And 9 and 5, nothing. So I am ready to go ahead and multiply across. 7 times 6. I'm sorry, 7 times 9 will give you 63, and then 10 times 5, of course, will give you 50. 63 and 50, this is an improper fraction. So this will make our answer not in simplest form. And here in this problem, we will have to change our answer to the mixed number form. So again, from webinar 1, we did go over in details how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. We'll ask ourselves how many times 50 will go into 63. And we said in that webinar, if you're not sure, then grab your calculator and divide 63 divided by 50. It will give you a whole number and a decimal digits. Ignore the digits in the decimal, but you have to take the whole number, which is going to be a 1 if you try it on your calculator. 50 will stay in the denominator as is, and to determine the remainder or the numerator of that mixed number, you simply multiply 1 times 50 will give you 50, and then subtract 63 minus 50 will give you the remainder 13. And this is the final answer. 1 and 13 over 50 is the final answer or the final product. Okay, let's go to a self-check question on the same topic. A mixed number times a mixed number. What do you think? We are not going to use the cancellation method, remember now, because we have to rewrite our problem using improper fractions, and then we can look for factors to eliminate. Again, rewrite the question. I find myself when I learned how to do problems, when I rewrite the problem myself as I am writing the problem, I'm comprehending the problem. So when I write 1 and 5 over 6, my mind realizes that it's a mixed number. And the back of my mind say, well, we're not going to multiply right away. We will have to do a step, which is changing that mixed number to an improper fraction and so on. So try to write the problem, look at the problem, decide the order of the steps that you're going to go through to find the correct product. Remember, when we change the mixed number to an improper fraction, you multiply the whole number times the denominator and then add it to the numerator. So you want to do the same thing on both mixed numbers and then decide on the common factors to eliminate. Okay, let's do the question together. So again, multiplication problem. Once I see mixed numbers, I'm just going to hold. I'm not going to do any multiplications yet. I have to rewrite my problem in terms of improper fraction. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 5 will give you 11 over 6. And then times, you're going to change the other one. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2 is going to give you 32 and keep the same fraction 6. Now we can think about the factors to eliminate. I see 32 and 6 both are even numbers. Then 2 must be a common factor I'm able to eliminate. So rewrite the question, 11 over 3, because 6 over 2 is 3 times. 32 over 2 will give you 16 at the top, and 6 will remain. Let's look 11 and 3. Nothing common. 11 and 6, nothing. 16 and 3, nothing. And 16 and 6, nothing to eliminate. Well, I mean, 6 and 16 actually are even numbers, so I'm able to eliminate further. So 11 over 3 times 6 over 2 will give you 8, and then 3 on the bottom. Now 11 and 3, nothing, and nothing, nothing there, and then nothing with the 8 and 3. Now I'm able to multiply across. 11 times 8 is 88, and then 3 times 3 is 9. This is an improper fraction. I need to switch it back to the mixed number form. How many times 9 goes into 88? I know that 9 times 9 is 81, so it is 9 times. I'm going to keep the original denominator the same, and then I'm going to figure out the remainder. 9 times 9 is 81. 88 minus 81 will give you a 7. So the product for this problem is 9 and 7/9. So B is the right answer. Any questions about that problem? We will do more practice as we go along this webinar. Even division, you will see later that we will have to change into multiplication, and that will give us more practice with multiplication. Next, let's look at another topic about multiplication. What if you are multiplying with a whole number on the question? What should we do? We know with the mixed number, we know we have to change that to an improper fraction. What about the whole number? Well, the answer is the same. We have to change the whole number to the fraction form. Well, anything over 1 is itself. So I'm able to rewrite this question as 10 over 1. It means the same thing, it just in a different form. 10 over 1 times. I cannot keep this as is. We did see in the previous set of questions, we have to change it to the improper fraction form. 1 times 40 is 40 plus 31 will give you 71 over 40. Now we can do the same exact process. Look at where you can eliminate things over 10 and over 10. Rewrite the problem. So repeating all of the steps again. The only difference is if you have a whole number or mixed number in the question, you have to prepare the question before you go ahead and do your cancellation steps and multiplying across. That's it. So 10 over 10, of course, is a 1. You have a 1 again on the denominator times 71 over 4. Nothing common between these four numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply across. 1 times 71 is 71. 1 times 4 is a 4. This is not in simplest form. How many times 4 goes into 71? If you're not sure, use a calculator. 71 divided by 4 will give you what? Will give you 17 and some decimals. Ignore the decimals and take the 17 over. And then 4 will remain the same. It's the denominator. Find out the remainder. 17 times 4, and then subtract the 71 from that product. That will give you 3. So 17 and 3/4 will be the product for this question. The second question, the same concept. So 30 times a fraction. I'm going to change the 30 to simply 30 over 1. Just to have a denominator there, times, well, this is a fraction. I don't have to change anything on that problem. So it's going to be the same. Now I'm going to do my cancellation steps. I see, for example, 30 and 21. Well, I can divide over 3 here. And of course, I can divide over 3 here. Rewrite the problem. 30 divided by 3 is a 10. You have a 1. And then times 14. 21 over 3 is 7. Oh, 14 and a 7, divide over 7 and divide over 7. And that will make us write the problem as 10 over 1 times 2 over 1. Nothing common between anything. Remember that 10 and 2, we cannot eliminate the 2 because both numbers are on the top. So that's it for the cancellation. 10 times 2 is a 20. 1 times 1 is a 1. Our answer again is a whole number 20. Okay, as you know, there is a self-check question on this topic. 9 times 1 and 1 over 6. Am I going to change the two numbers there or just only 1? And how I'm going to change the 9 to a fraction? Do I have to change the 1 and 1 over 6 to an improper fraction or no? Write down the problem, think about it, and rewrite the problem so you're able to start doing the cancellation steps. You need to rewrite the 9 as what? And you need to rewrite the mixed number as what? What would be the factors to eliminate? Okay, let's do the question together. So again, a whole number, we cannot just keep it like this. We are multiplying fractions, so we have to change it to fraction form. 9 over 1 times, this is a mixed number, we cannot use it as is. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 1 is 7, and keep the denominator the same. Now we can look for fractions for factors to eliminate. Over 3 and over 3. Rewrite the problem. 9 over 3 is a 3 over 1 times 7 over 2. Nothing to be eliminated here. That's it. So multiply across 3 times 7 will give you 21, and 1 times 2 will give you 2. How many times 2 goes into 21? We know from the multiplication table that 10 times 2 will give you 20, the closest to the 21. So it's going to be 10, whole number, 2 will be the denominator. 10 times 2 is 20. 21 minus 20 will give you the 1. So the product is 10 and a half. So number A is the correct answer.